leave away, spit on my Lord in every way, yet I'm still welcome in the arms.
So what then he shifts to talk about is exploratory versus confirmatory thought. So confirmatory thought, and this happens a lot right now. It's the sound box where you go in, you're posting on social media, right? You're saying, you're putting your view out there, and all your friends are reading it, and they're like, yeah, like, and so you only hear people in your sphere that like the things that you like, and that dislike the things that you dislike.
Right.
And so when you go into those, it confirms your biases.
Yeah.
What Haupt wants us to do is to practice what's called exploratory thought, where you're beginning to say, that doesn't quite sound like what I believe in or what I think, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
So this is what I want to this is the angle then for preaching, is in preaching, how would we begin to help our congregation not to do confirmatory thought? So if you bring up abortion or homosexuality or whatever the latest hot topic is, people automatically think, oh, I know where this is going.
Right.
I've already written this sermon in my mind. Preachers need to, I think, practice this exploratory thought, where it's like, what if there's a new way to look at it? What if there's, and not to rewrite theology, but we want to take them deeper into theology and not just keep them at their Sunday school level Christianity.
That's really good. So in the sermon, now you might, as a preacher, have an end to this. You're not like, hey, let's think about this. Maybe Jesus isn't God. Have you thought about that?
See you next week.
Yeah,
Right.
see you next week.
Right.
So you got a goal.
Let's
but
have
also,
communion, which may or may not be.
I don't know. Let's think about that.
Let's roll the dice.
So you heard it from this guy right
Yeah,
here.
right,
He's,
All right, guys,
what
it's
they're
been fun.
teaching
Yeah,
at the-
fantastic.
Your sermons really shouldn't say anything. You should just ask questions. But I do think it's a pretty good rhetorical device. You get people engaged in a real conversation. You might have a goal where you want this to go, but also you don't want to be dishonest. Like you're giving credence. So those are real, actually good questions. Those are actually really good doubts or whatever that might be as you are guiding them through some point that you have at the end there. That's interesting. I like
Well,
that.
I think you can, as a preacher, you can, in that regard, you're kind of modeling it for your hearers, right? So that they, even if it's just sort of an experiment you're doing at the beginning of your sermon, you're like considering some view everyone would immediately have a reaction against, probably a negative rate. You just start asking these questions about it, like from trying to see it from their way, and then you can still bring it around, but like that practice can I think open up for your hearers, like, man, I've never even tried to do something like that, or you know what I mean, like
That's
that
fascinating.
you're kind of opening it up to a dialogue then.
Well, and take an issue like abortion. It's a complex issue, right? There's the issue of the unborn child that is a precious gift of God. There is the issue of the mother. There's the issue of the father. So instead of kind of going into it with a couple of basic points that you're going to make, and everybody kind of says, yeah. I kind of thought about that already. I agree with you, Pastor. God bless you. Yeah, against, down with all those people that do that kind of stuff. Instead, exploring the issue in a little bit deeper way, right? Because that's part of our goal in preaching every week. And I was there. I did the every Sunday sermon for 5 years. That's not as long as you guys have been doing it. But I know what it's like to think, what am I doing in my preaching? Like, where's this going? Is it the same story every week? And wanting to try to take people deeper or explore an issue. So I think it helps us to get people deeper into the scriptures, deeper into our confessional theology.
Because you want to equip people. This is really good. This is fantastic thoughts on this. And so contrary to what one might think we're going to talk about when we say, let's talk about polarization. Well, and then we just come with a ramrod like, well, this is how we're actually, and we want our people to think through these things. We want them to be a theologian when we're not there. We're not preaching. and to not be afraid to engage things that are opposite to what they think, and to be strong at the same time, kind, compassionate, growing in their own learning in order to ultimately bring people to Christ. Not even to win the argument of these moral issues, quite frankly, but to bring them to Christ.